And by golly, here we are, ready for another full-length painting video. I'm so glad that you have been able to join me today. Now, we're going to start off with a nice cloudy blue sky. And I was originally thinking of doing this painting in watercolor, but so many people like acrylic that I thought, okay, I'll do it in acrylic for you. And so now I'm just applying the acrylic, making cloud shapes by painting the negative space just like you're seeing, okay? Now, we'll smooth this down in a little bit, and what it's going to do is it's going to make all kinds of little thingies, light spots, dark spots, and stuff like that look like clouds, look like hazy clouds, kind of just drifting off from the main clouds. And I'm just letting the paint run out of the brush just as it wants to, okay? And now with these little crisscross type strokes, I start actually painting those clouds that somebody's imagination is going to tell them that that's what it is. And this is a real fun part because, by golly, you are in control of what's going on. All right, now what we're going to do, as soon as I get the stuff that I need found, because some of it accidentally fell on the floor, okay, we are going to come back into our painting and work some more on those clouds. And this is a fan brush, and it's a very, very soft one. And as you can see with the little crisscross strokes, what's happening in that sky. You're seeing little clouds form, little wispy clouds form. And it's just a matter of little crisscross strokes. And by golly, we get our cloud forms. And again, you can just pretty much do whatever you want with those forms with your little fan brush. Now you could use a really soft flat brush. If you wanted to, you could even use a really soft round brush. I just happened to have a fan, so I went ahead and I used that. And now what we're going to do is we're going to come in and we're going to start adding some white into the clouds. Okay, see, watch now. And I've got a little bit of that pink color that I'm going to add in there just for a little bit of warmth up there in the clouds. And again, the strokes you're seeing me use are little jabbing strokes, little twisty-turny strokes to give form, just to give form to the cloud, okay? Then if you just watch, you'll see how the cloud begins to have some form and some shape, and it's got bulges and not so bulges. Okay, we come up there just like that. See, and we push some of that white paint off of there, and it kind of knocks down those hard edges. And again, this is just whatever you want to do is right. It isn't right, it isn't wrong. It's whatever you want to do. Now, it doesn't look like much, But those clouds will take their place in the painting as we start adding more stronger pigmented colors to bring things forward. And again, I go looking for some supplies and come back, and I got a little more white. I got some blue in that white just to give a little shaded areas on the clouds, because we need some shaded areas so that we have light. And you see I'm putting a little more of that pink in there, just like that, and it's going to diffuse into the white that's already there, and it's taking its place in the cloud. And it's going to do exactly that same thing over on that side. And believe it or not, the tree is actually beginning to paint itself, because we're painting all around it. Okay? Mix up a little bit more color. Okay? Just wiggle it around on there. And I apologize for the signal coming in and going out, it getting lighter and it getting darker. I don't know what was causing that, but I'll certainly try to keep it from happening in the future. You see now how our clouds now have got some form to them. They got lighter areas, they got darker areas, they got little ridges, and that's what we're looking for in our cloud. We go back there, and we got some blue and the white. Now we're just going to put some white on top of that, and we're just tinting and toning and toning and tinting, making sure that our clouds have their place in the painting. Okay, there we go. And I'm really feeling good about these clouds right now. And so I'm not going to mess too much more with them. I think I'm just about ready to let it sit where it wants. Now I can take a little clean rag and I can just dab around in there. And again, that gives more form to the cloud. There we go. Now, see the tree? How the tree's just sitting there. That's just what we want. Now the next thing we're going to be working on are the faraway hills, okay? And we're getting ready to do that. I want that paint to dry down there right where the hills are, as we just fan out a little bit more haze coming off of those clouds. And I'm trying to move the cloud away from the top of the tree, okay? Because I don't want that tree to disappear into the sky. Okay, so I got to make sure that I got the light behind it so that the dark of the tree will show up really, really well. And I have a little on the brush to clean off, so I'll just throw it up there in the sky, and we'll make a few more little wispy clouds, just like that. We'll clean off the brush a little bit, and we'll be ready to get back to painting again. Okay. This is one of the neat things about doing it live. I don't stop the tape unless I absolutely have to. And I didn't have to here, so it just kept going. Okay. Now what I'm doing is I'm mixing up the next color. Mixing up the next color. And it's going to be a darker version of the sky color, because those hills are a ways off. just going to paint that in there. And you notice how the clouds are starting to go up in the air? That's exactly what we're looking for. Just like that. And it's okay if that's got some lighter and some darker in it. Nothing wrong with that at all. I'm coming right up to that tree trunk. Now we just pull it down on the other side of that tree trunk, move it out and away we go on that far hill. Look at how nice that's starting to look. There we go. And the question, well, when do you stop? You stop when you look at it and you see what you're looking for. And when you get to that point, well, that's where she stops. Okay, now I'm adding just a little bit lighter blue to that. I'm putting some white in it because acrylic dries darker. And I want to make sure that those far hills stay lighter than what's going to be coming next. Okay? There we go. I'm starting to feel good about that. Now we're just going to kind of slow that down a little bit. There we go. And there we are. And that is what's called a plane. You have the plane of the sky, and now that long hill, that long away hill, that's another plane. And now I'm going to mix up some blue and some green, and we're going to come in and we're going to make another plane. And that plane is going to push that far hill even farther back than it is. And so we'll be here in just a second, as soon as I get my paint on the brush and get the color exactly the way I want it. And then you watch that hill back there. You watch that move further and further away. Here we go. See how it starts jumping and going to the back? That's exactly what we want it to do. And I'm not worried about any kind of detail whatsoever in that. None. That is nothing to worry about detail with. Okay, come to the other side of the tree trunk. Move it around, move it off, like that. And we are doing just fine. Now, that in itself is another plane. Okay, I'm just going to come up there and just work on the bottom of it a little bit. Just to smooth it down like that. There we go. That feels good. There we are. Now we've got the sky plane, we got the far hills, we've got the mid hills, and now we're going to be ready to start on the mid-ground landmass all around in there. Okay? Okay, and I'm just making sure that the tree's okay, the clouds are okay. And now we're going to go ahead and we're going to start putting in the masses of reds and pinks and crimson colors and dark colors and everything else to make this painting come alive. Everything so far to the back has been there just as a holder, and that was parchment color, and we're going to use the parchment to tint our paint for the most part to get it exactly where we want it at, color-wise. Okay, and we're now mixing. We're mixing red into the parchment and a little bit of blue into the red. But now we're coming in with parchment and yellow. And I know it's kind of hard to notice, but if you look real close, you can see that yellow color. Now I'm just putting it here and there. I'm going to be moving other colors around it and through it. But I want that nice base of that yellow right there where it is. Because it's going to play all through the painting. And if we pick up a little bit of green, that's okay too. That's okay, because our brain sees that, and it sees different colors of grasses growing in it. Okay? So now we're just bringing it up to us. Just bringing it up to us. And now we've got less white in it and more of the parchment color, because we're getting closer. And that's what we want. Because as you get closer, the color gets more intense. And we just need that. We need that yellowy parchment color there to be sure that we've got a good base for everything else that's going to be there. Okay, we can just smooth out any little blips like that. They just come in with a little bit of dark, and that little blip goes right away. Just goes right away. Just like it was never there. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start coming in with some color. With some nice bright colors. Some nice warm reds and pinks and purples. And make this painting get even more beautiful, even more spectacular. We want this painting to be seen from the door. We want people to notice our painting before they notice anybody else's. If we're going to put it in a gallery for sale, we got to have something to catch their eye. And believe you me, that crimson color right there, that'll catch their eye. It works just like magic. A little there, a little over there. I'm kind of liking this. Okay, kind of liking this. I got a picture in my mind, and I'm just putting that picture down on the canvas. Because that's how we do this. We get a picture in our mind, we paint the picture that's in our mind, and when we see the picture on the canvas in front of us, then we know the painting is over with. And it's done. It's time to just put the brush down, let it dry, sign it, varnish it, and get it ready to sell or to hang up. Okay? There we go. We're just going right down what's going to be that trail. We'll push a little up, just like that. And if you'll notice now, your attention is more towards the front of the painting. All we're doing there is we're just throwing a little out there just so that it looks like it's growing far away too. Okay, now we've got some blue. We're going to make it some dark in there. And why is it dark? Well, the grass is growing up. Okay. And it's going to be darker there. It's going to be in the shade. And we're just taking that right down that trail. And the trail, compositionally, is what takes your eye to the tree. You might not notice it yet, but you will. I'll guarantee it. Now we're just going to start playing crimsons and blues and reds and crimsons and such as that, all together mixing it up so that we get these beautiful blends of color. And we're painting rather quickly so that this stuff isn't having a big chance to dry. Really don't want it to dry. Right now we want to be able to blend into it. Okay, and now we're going to work on this side. And over there. You see, we paint paintings, we just paint them all over rather than finish one part and then start another, because a painting evolves. Painting just evolves. Okay. And you're seeing this painting evolve. And you notice I'll kind of pause with the brush. That's because I am looking and I'm seeing in my mind's eye what I want to see. And then I produce what I want to see with the brush. And you can see the path is now beginning to take shape. Now we put some dark in for contrast. There we go. And that's just blue with the crimson in it. The paint's behaving itself well tonight, and I'm appreciative of that. Okay, we'll throw a little of that up there. Sometimes the paint wants to dry just too doggone fast, and that can drive you crazy, and then you dip your brush in water and you get too much water and it's running all over the canvas, and that can just absolutely drive you to distraction. But tonight, everything is working good, and I'm really happy with that. Okay, now we're bringing some of that kind of pinky, parchmenty color around here and there and there and here. Okay. Let's throw a little there. Why not? You bet. Didn't like it. Nope. I'm going to put some dark there. I want a little more dark. You see, the dark is acting as a stop. You get there, it gets dark, well, there ain't much to see. So you're not going to go that far with it. And this is just taking you right up to the tree, and the tree is the star of the show. So let's work our way towards the tree. Those are just some light brush strokes, just to indicate that there's foliage up there too, okay? This is all getting us ready to paint the tree here in just a few minutes. I hope you're enjoying this. This is an 11 by 14 canvas. Okay, now I've got the parchment with a little bit of blue, and we're going in and we're just painting the trail up to the tree. Okay. And if we get a little slide over on the edge like we did there, that's no problem. We're just going to come in with some dark, and we'll just take that right back away. There we go, just like that. See how easy that was? Don't panic. Don't panic. Just paint. Everything works out fine. Can you feel your eyes being led toward the tree? As soon as we start painting that tree, you're going to see what I mean. Now we're coming in with a really kind of light greeny color in there. And it's got pink in it and everything else. And we're just tapping and pushing because trees are clumps and they got branches that stick out, and we want to make sure that our trees' branches stick out just like they're supposed to. And it's going to be darker on that side working on right now because the light is coming from the other side, okay? The light's coming in from our right, going to our left. Okay, and trees are a little darker on the bottom because the light has a hard time getting there. Okay, my goodness, look at our tree. See, now we're adding a little bit of that dark. And the tree gets form to it, okay? There's a little dark out there, you know. I mean, my goodness. Our tree's got branches that stick out, okay? There we go. Now, without further ado, what we're going to do is we're going to do some work on the trunk. And I'm making sure that I don't get my hand, the side of my hand in the paint. Okay? I'm good for doing that. Okay, now let's put trunk in like that. A little branch going off of the trunk. Okay. Now we'll come down here into the shade. We'll pull a little bit of shadow heading out that way from the tree. Now we'll come up there with some of that dark. We'll give her a little darker hit on the shaded side. Okay. We had blue, now we added a little bit of red to it. Alrighty then. Now we'll just take the brush and we'll just do a little scraping there. And then we can kind of bury a lot of that scraping again in there, and it pretends that it's branches. A little more work on the shade, and we'll dump a little more dark out there just to give it some more shaded appearance. And we're getting close to calling this done, okay? We're getting close to it. Our tree's looking good. We give it a little bit of underbrush there. And by golly, push a little bit of paint up there. And I'm feeling good about our painting right now. I really am. And I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I truly do, because it's been fun to paint it for you. Now we just kind of work around here and there and just add some lights and some darks, however we see fit to give form to things. And so I want to thank you for being with me for this painting, and I hope you've enjoyed it. And there'll be more paintings, full-length paintings to come in the very near future. So again, I appreciate you being here. Be sure to give me a comment on this, a thumbs up, so that I know that you're enjoying what we're putting up here, okay? And so, by golly, thank you for being with me. I hope you've enjoyed it.